Hey Mom, I just wanted to remind you about our plans today since I have some updates. It sounds to me like Jack was able to get reservations at that one restaurant that I was telling you about. I don't think it's going to be anything too formal, so just show up how you would to any other restaurant. I think we're going out for Italian, so don't wear white.
Yes, I suppose that would make it pretty easy to see where I got sauce on myself, wouldn't it? But I'm glad and grateful that Jack was able to find a good place to book for us. I'm really looking forward to this.
Forward to this too, Mom, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was also a bit nervous.
What, Jessica? What is there to even be nervous about? Did something happen between you and Erwin?
No, it's nothing to do with Erwin and I at all, but it's just that, well, I guess his dad said some things that just really weren't sitting right with me. And I think that some of what his dad has been saying might be starting to rub off on Erwin. I'm not really sure if I can explain it any better than that without going into too much detail about what all was said.
I'm sorry, but I guess I'm just a little bit confused. If you don't want to talk about this, then that's okay, but I'm afraid that I can't really follow along with what you're saying to me.
Well, it's just, I don't know. I guess that Erwin's dad really doesn't seem to be happy about the fact that I was raised in a single-parent household. And this isn't just hearsay, Mom. He's actually told me this himself. And now even Erwin has been saying things that hint at him not being happy about it either.
Wait a second. You mean that your fiancé's father and now even your fiancé are talking bad about the way that you were raised? What were they even saying?
I don't know. I wasn't really trying to listen, to be honest, but his family, they all come from a long line of politicians, and I guess they just have some pride about that. And I think more than anything, they probably just have a lot of misconceptions and misgivings about what being raised in a single-parent household even means. But I just know that if they were to meet you, that would probably solve everything. I mean, you do know who Erwin's dad, Jack, is, right?
Yes, I think I've heard of him, but I think that we've hardly ever actually interacted in person. Although I'm sure that Jack wouldn't want to try and start anything with me as soon as he realized who I am.
No, I don't think that he would try and start with you over anything. Although, don't be surprised if he gets a little competitive about things.
I suppose that might have to be expected, won't it? But if that is all that's going to happen, then I'm not sure what you're worried about. I think I know how to handle myself, thank you very much. After all, I think there were plenty of people who thought that they could look down on us just because I was raising you all by myself. But I am sure that if we all just sit down to eat a nice meal and talk this out, that we'll be able to clear up some of their misconceptions. Although that being said, I have to say that I'm surprised that someone would actually still cling on to such an outdated belief.
I know, you're right. You might be fine tomorrow, but that wasn't all that I wanted to talk to you about. There's something else that I wanted to discuss with you before the meal.
Oh, really? Well, what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? What else is there that I should know?
The thing is that both Jack and Erwin asked for your phone number so that they could get in contact with you. So I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind if I shared that with them before tomorrow.
Well, that's a bit strange that they would ask you for that when we're all about to meet tomorrow in person anyways. Can they not just get my number from me directly tomorrow? Why can't we just do that? I don't understand why we wouldn't be able to make that work. In fact, that seems like it would be so much easier to me.
I told them that you were really busy and that she might not like it, but they both seemed pretty insistent about it. I don't know. You know how they get. It isn't like I didn't try to explain all of that to them.
I see. Well, then I guess that means that they won't take a simple no for an answer. Gosh, I wish they would just listen to what people were trying to say to them. It would make things so much easier. And it makes me think that there is something they might have that they want to talk to me directly about. I don't know. I guess I just have a bad feeling about all of this, if I'm being honest with you. So I suppose that if they really do want my number that badly, that there shouldn't be a problem in you giving it to them.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pass along your number to them. Thanks so much for understanding, and sorry to bug you with this when you're already so busy.
You don't have anything to apologize about, Jessica. After all, you're not the one asking for this. But I just do hope that things between you and Erwin are still going well. I just want you to know that it's okay to call this off if you feel that it's not going well.
No, it's nothing too bad or serious. I just wish that they would be a little more open-minded towards you and the whole raised by a single mother thing. And I think it just stinks that this is even a topic that we have to clear things up on and try and make them feel comfortable with. Does all of that make sense?
Of course it does, and I completely understand why you would hope to have more support from your fiancé and his family. But hopefully, after we all sit down and talk about this tomorrow, it won't become a problem in the future. Either way, I am really looking forward to the meal and seeing everyone in person. It feels like it's taken so much work to finally put all of this together. So I'll see you tomorrow, dear. You have a lovely rest of your day. It was nice talking to you, even if it was just about putting all of this together in the first place.
Hello, this is Town Councilman Jack Harrison. I take it that this is Beth, Jessica's mom, isn't it? I got the number from your daughter, and so I'm hoping that I'm speaking to the correct person right now. Or rather, texting, I should say.
Hello. Yes, this is Jessica Williamson. It is a pleasure to meet you, Jack. And yes, Beth told me that you were asking about getting my phone number. I'm happy to finally be able to connect with you. Or rather, I suppose it would be more appropriate to say that it's been a long time since we last spoke, hasn't it?
Are you saying that you and I have met before? I'm terribly sorry, ma'am, but I really don't remember meeting you at all. In fact, thinking about it now, I don't think I've ever met anyone from a single-parent household before. Not the kid or the parent, so I don't think that we've met.
Oh, but we have met before, you and I. Although I am thinking that maybe meeting each other tomorrow in person might serve to jog your memory a little bit.
Well, I understand that you seem to think that we've met before, but I'm telling you that I have no recollection of that at all. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? You and I have not met. In fact, I really don't think that someone like me would ever lower themselves to talk to you. Or rather, how would someone as low as you even manage to talk to me?
Lower yourself? You think I'm beneath you? I really don't understand what it is that you're trying to get at, but if you're saying what I think you're trying to say, well, I think it would do you well to choose your next words very carefully.
Right, look, I'm going to get to the chase and skip all the niceties, okay? Now, I don't really know what you and your daughter might be after with all this, but I want you to know that I'm not about to let you pull any kind of scam on me or my family. Understand? We're not going to give either of you one red cent. In fact, I'll be even more honest. I don't trust you or your daughter one bit. You are both just as shift as each other. I couldn't even throw you as far as I trust you because I don't at all.
I'm sorry, but I'm just a little confused about what you're talking about. When did either of us even say that we wanted money from you?
Listen, I'm a member of the town council. I know what it's like to live in the world that I do. And if I've learned one thing, it's that when some poor family tried to get close to you, they're only doing so with one goal in mind. I mean, the moment that Erwin told me that he was dating some girl from a single-parent household, I have to say that I was quite shocked. I thought that he would have thought more carefully about who it was that he was going to be bringing home to introduce to his mom and I. But I guess that my boy is still young and has a lot to learn. After all, he didn't even know that he should be watching out for exactly your kind of people to come slinking around.
I'm sorry, Jack, but do you not realize at all just how insulting you're being, both to me and my daughter? I mean, really, you're an elected official. Do you think that this is any way to speak to the people that you claim to serve? Why do you think that you can just assume that every single-parent household is just after money? Is that really how you view the world? I can't believe that someone like you was let anywhere near the levers of power that control our society. I really don't think that you have any real basis for any of these beliefs besides your own personal biases. The fact of the matter is that you just don't know what you're talking about at all. And I would really appreciate it if you stopped accusing my daughter and I of having such a behavior. You are being very rude, and I don't care to stand for it any longer. Now, tomorrow we are supposed to get together for a nice meal and discuss how our children are engaged to one another. So I just can't understand why you think that it's appropriate to be texting me these kinds of things the day before such a meeting.
I just thought that I'd give you some forewarning before we did meet. I just want to let you know that I already know exactly the kind of people that you and your daughter are, and I won't let you get away with this.
You really just don't know when to stop, do you? What makes you think that you have to talk about two people that you haven't met like that?
I already told you that I'm on the town council, didn't I? If there's one thing that I know, it's people and how they work. And if you think I'm going to let you and your daughter sully my family's legacy, then you're dead wrong. I mean, did you two really think that you would get away with this? That I would just let you waltz into my family and open the door and let you both in?
Again, there is really no need for any of this kind of language, Jack. I just want to know how you can make these judgments when we haven't even met in person. You may be on the town council, but if you don't see why that post shouldn't make you more empathetic to the needy, then that is quite disturbing.
What? You think that being a politician means that I'm supposed to be some kind of bleeding heart? You think that it means that I'm supposed to care about the average person on the street? Being a politician just means that I'm better than everyone else.
And here I thought being on the town council meant that you were supposed to be a representative of your constituency. You do realize that I am a voter in your district, don't you? Don't you care at all about getting my vote? Working for the town council isn't something that makes you great. It's a job you should be given because you're already a good person. I really do think that if you don't change your outlook on the world, that you might make some serious consequences for yourself. Again,
what do you know about anything? You're just a single mother to a sad, pathetic little daughter. But I guess I'm starting to see why it is that your husband left you. If I had to be nagged at like this by you every single day, I might pack my bags and never come back too. But don't worry, I'm going to see to it that Erwin leaves your daughter the same way your husband left you. What? You mean that you
have no idea about anything that my daughter and I have gone through, and I would appreciate you not jumping to conclusions like that. I have to say that I am really, really disappointed in you, Jack, but let's just say that I am very much looking forward to tomorrow. I can't wait to see the look in your face when we finally see each other in person, after all this time. Oh, I'm already trying to hold my laughter thinking about how you're going to react when you do see me.
That you're still going to come tomorrow, even after all that I've said? You're a persistent one. I'll certainly give you that, lady. But just know this, that this isn't going to change anything. I'm going to protect my family from no good lowlives like you and your daughter. I won't let some poor rabble like you sink their claws into my son.
I'm just going to say that the only reason I'm even bothering to show up for this tomorrow is all for my daughter's sake. You, your family, your son, and your status, none of that matters to me one bit. All I care about is Beth. Although given the way that you've been treating me just in this text conversation alone, don't be surprised if this whole engagement just falls apart. Look, I think that as parents...
Well, that will be fine with me. In fact, I was hoping to have achieved that by now anyways. What makes you think that I want my son to go through with this marriage? You know what? On second thought, I might...
As parents, we should support the choices that our children make, especially when it comes to love. Now, if you think that my daughter has some kind of ulterior motive, I can assure you that she doesn't, and I'll have you know that neither do I.
I might actually be okay with your daughter marrying my son, as long as she promises never to talk to you ever again. I mean that I'd let her...
I'm sorry, I don't think that I'm following along with what you're saying. What would be the point of that?
I'd let her marry Erwin if she just cast off her past as someone raised by her mom. Not only would having you hang around only bring shame to my brilliant political dynasty, but it would be the only way that we could really be sure that we can control your daughter and make sure that she doesn't either steal money or ruin our reputation. If she can do that, then I'll let her marry my boy.
Well, I'll say this much for you, Jack. You certainly do have an overinflated sense of self. I mean, I know that powerful men are supposed to be all ego, but you're like a bad caricature of a lousy politician. I mean, to think that the day before we were supposed to meet in person, you reach out to me just to insult my family and I like this? You must really think that your family is the cream of the crop around here, don't you?
Of course I do. My family has literally helped to lead this town for generations. What have you done with your life besides lose a husband and raise a useless daughter? Even my son is working in my campaign office, and one day, if he learns how to do it right, he'll be ready to take over my seat on the council. But before that can happen, I need to make sure that he gets smart enough about what kind of people he's letting into his life.
Sorry, don't we live in a democracy? I don't see how you think you'll just pass along your seat. And I will ask you to keep your comments about me, my daughter, and how I raised her to yourself when we meet tomorrow.
If you have a problem with anything that I have to say tomorrow, then you can leave and cancel the whole engagement. I'm a politician, and here in this country, we have a little thing called freedom of speech. Got it? But more important, I am going to do whatever it takes to protect my family from people like you. And that's why you're not going to get away with this.
Morrow, if the only reason you're seeking power is just so that you can lord it over people you see as beneath you, then I don't think you're a good fit for office. Especially since you seem to think that you can actually create some kind of dynasty with your family, or that that would be even something desirable for a functioning democratic society.
There you go again, running your mouth, as if you have any idea what you're talking about. Politics isn't for women, and it certainly isn't for single mothers. You don't know what's for the good of society, because you're not good for society. But I don't even know why I'm trying to tell you all of this. It's like trying to teach a toddler about rocket science. It's all just going in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, you're right. I am getting nothing of value from this conversation at all, but I suppose you'll just have to try again in person tomorrow. Anyways, that's all the time I have to text. I look forward to seeing you then. Excuse me.
How are you supposed to sit when we only made reservations for us and not you? Did you really think that we were going to just let you walk into our family with open arms? You're even more stupid than I thought, if you really did think that it was going to be that easy.
Excuse me? What are you talking about? Are you talking about our lunch plans today?
Of course I am. I made reservations at one of the nicest Italian places in the city. And let's face it, there's no way that a nobody like you could ever afford to eat here. So since you don't even have enough money to afford your own meal, why would we reserve a seat for you to be here? Did you really think that you were going to get a free lunch from us that easily? Well, think again.
There you go again, trying to make fun of me for things that you have no idea about. Honestly, I would have hoped that you did your homework by now, but I guess you'll just have to learn your lesson the hard way.
I know that you're poor, and that tells me everything else that I need to know about you. You're the one that needs to learn to accept their place in this world.
You really think that you know my place better than I do? I just don't know what to say to a man like you.
I don't care what you say. Nothing you could ever say is going to change how I feel about this marriage or you. And that's why you don't have a seat here. So if you want, you can either stand at the table while we eat and enjoy our food like civilized beings, or you can just give up and go home. Honestly, you should just be grateful to me that I'm even giving you the choice. Don't say that I never did anything for you.
I see. Well, if those are the only two choices that you're going to give me, then why don't you just tell my daughter that I've gone home?
Yes, this is perfect. You better go home. There's no place for you here at all.
Yes, it would appear that there isn't. Just don't tell me that I didn't warn you. You will regret this.
Regret? This is the best decision I've made in a long time. If I knew that it would be this easy to get rid of you, I wouldn't have even bothered talking to you yesterday. Now get out of here, you little lowlife nobody.
I guess we'll just have to see who the real lowlife is, won't we?
Hey, what the heck is going on here, huh? We've been waiting at the restaurant for a long time now, and nobody's here. I mean, not even my son has shown up here yet. He's not even picked up his phone. Do you have any idea what's going on here?
Our whole family is over. It's ruined, and you were the one that ruined it.
Wait, what? What is all this about? What are you talking about? Have you gone crazy or something?
Sorry about that. I was only passing along a message from your wife is all. I actually ran into her in front of the Italian restaurant and explained to her all of what happened between you and I.
Wait a second. You mean that it was my wife who said that? So then, does that mean that she's talking about our family?
Yeah, I mean, it would appear as if that was what she was referring to. But this is what you get for trying to treat me and my mom the way you did. I'll have you know that no one in my life has been more supportive of me than my mother. But
What are you talking about, Jessica?
I just really don't get where someone like you gets off. I mean, why be so judgmental about people you haven't met when you're literally going to meet them the next day? I really thought that you would have been more careful with your choice of words after hearing that you had met my mom before. But I guess your wife was able to figure out what you couldn't anyway, and that's why she got so distraught. I'm just saying.
Okay, just what the heck is going on here, huh? What are you talking about? What did my wife figure out about what you're saying? I wasn't able to, huh?
I'm just saying that your wife saw who my mom was, and that was her reaction to how you treated her. But I'm surprised that you couldn't fit all the pieces together. After all, my mom is one of your most influential supporters and basically won your last election for you.
Hold on a second now. You're really not making any sense at all. I mean, are you really trying to tell me that I owe my victory to your mom?
I just thought that you would have recognized my mom as the head of Williamson & Co. But I guess you were so hung up on the fact that she raised me as a single mother that you blinded yourself to everything else. And no matter how many times my mom tried to warn you, you just kept looking down on her.
Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that your mom is the same Beth Williamson who heads Williamson & Co.?
That's right. And I'm just shocked that even after my mom gave you her full name, that you still accused her of being after your money. You really should have just kept your mouth shut until you had actually seen her face to face. But then again, not even Jack knew who my mom really was. This was going to be the first time the two of them met.
But no, are you telling me the truth? Is your mom really? She can't be.
She literally told you who she was and encouraged you to stop talking until we had all met in person. But are you telling me that you didn't even do any looking into who my family might be, where I was coming from? Or did you think that it would just be a waste of money and resources to do so much digging into a nobody like me? Even as a politician, I would have thought that name recognition alone would have been enough to tip you off, but...
Please, you have to tell me where your mom is right now. I am serious.
But she already told you that she was going to go back home, didn't she? As for me, after I met up with your wife, I texted Jack and told him that I couldn't get married to him anymore. So even though we'll probably never meet again, I hope that this serves as an important wake-up call to you about how to treat others.
What do you mean? You broke up with my son. But what about the wedding? What's going to happen with that?
I just told you that there isn't going to be a wedding. I wouldn't want to join your family in a million years.
But we came from a long line of leaders and politicians.
Why should any of that matter if you just use your prestige and power to look down on others? I've already talked to Jack about all of this as well, so it's over. Please don't bother my mom or I again. Despite what I had said, Jack ended up calling my mom from the restaurant to beg for her to forgive him. He must have been really desperate to have that kind of conversation in a public place, because it turns out that a local reporter was at a nearby table and overheard half of the phone conversation. He picked up enough to hear that Jack had been very cruel and mean in his language to an important supporter. When he finally figured out who my mom was, the reporter asked her to comment on the story. She didn't, but her texts with Jack were somehow leaked to the press. And so, in the midst of his son's engagement falling apart, the news about Jack broke and his support rates with votes quickly tanked. After that, investigations into his campaign revealed some financial irregularities, and now it's a whole thing. Frankly, I stopped following the story shortly after it broke, as I knew all the details that mattered to me. I'm just grateful that I dodged a bullet by not marrying into Irwin's family and getting my mom caught up in all of this as well. As for my mom, after all of the news stories about Jack and his family were breaking, she withdrew all of her support for any of his campaigns and released a statement explaining why she chose to do so. Not only were the financial crimes a problem, of course, but she discusses the inappropriate way that Jack conceived of political power and how he lacked the spirit appropriate for having such power in a pluralistic society. I can only hope that this whole story serves to warn powerful people about being too full of themselves, but I'm not going to hold out much hope. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. Wait, you knew my wedding was coming up and you still went and got into an accident? What the hell is that? Are you serious? You couldn't be careful? Was it on purpose or something? You're not coming to my wedding now? So what? You're not happy for me or something?
Huh? What are you talking about? I didn't plan on having an accident, and you know I didn't want this to happen, right? I mean, no one ever expects to get into an accident. I definitely didn't. I really wanted to be at your wedding, but right now, even sending you this message is a struggle for me. I'm really sorry.
Oh, please, don't give me that. You're lying, aren't you? You're just jealous because I'm the first one of our group to get married, aren't you? I thought you were my best friend. Is this how you show it, by trying to avoid giving me a wedding gift or showing up to support me? I can't believe you'd stoop this low.
Jealous? No way! I'm really not! And I'd never avoid giving you a gift or showing up for your big day, I swear! I really did prepare everything. I even had my dress ready. I was looking forward to attending your wedding, but this accident... I can't help that it happened. I'm sorry. I promise I'll find a way to celebrate with you later, even if I can't make it to the ceremony. I'll give you the gift, I promise.
Yeah, I heard you're in a wheelchair because of the accident, but that's no excuse. You knew how important this was for me. How can you skip out on my wedding, the most important day of my life? You're the one who's supposed to be at the reception desk, too. Are you seriously going to flake on that responsibility, too?
I really didn't want this to happen. I know it's a huge inconvenience. And I feel terrible about not being able to help with the reception. But please, can you find someone else to cover for me? I hate asking you this, but I can't do it.
You're kidding, right? Do you have any idea how stressful a wedding is? And now on top of everything, I have to deal with this last-minute problem. This is seriously the worst. There is no way I can just find someone else at this point. You're putting me in a terrible position by bailing at the last second. If you don't show up, we're done as friends. I'm cutting ties with you. This is it.
Juliet, can't you try to see things from my side for just a moment? I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just this accident really caught me off guard.
See things from your side? Are you serious right now? You're the one who isn't thinking about my situation. You're going to embarrass me by not showing up. Do you have any idea how bad it looks when someone in charge of something as important as the reception desk cancels last minute? People will think I have the worst friends ever, and if you don't show up, I'm going to make sure everyone knows all of your embarrassing secrets. Remember how you used to like that guy? Well, guess what? He actually liked me all along. He told me everything, but you had no idea. You were there acting all happy for me, pretending you were fine when we started dating. Oh, and that's not even the worst of it. There's plenty more I can tell everyone about your embarrassing past.
Juliet, this is blackmail.
Oh, did I forget to mention? Remember that senior you had a crush on back in the day? Well, turns out he's going to be at my wedding too. He's my fiancé's junior from college. Isn't that funny?
What? No way. Davis? He's going to be there?
Yep, and if you don't show up, I'll make sure he knows all the pathetic details about your little crush on him. And let's be honest, if you're really the kind of friend who won't even bother showing up to my wedding, then I don't see why I should keep any of your embarrassing stories to myself. I'm not afraid to spill the tea, so you'd better get your act together.
I see. If it's come to this, then I guess there's nothing I can do.
Remember how we all encouraged you to confess your feelings to him? But you got so nervous that you ended up with a stomachache and had to hide in the bathroom. You couldn't even come out. You completely bailed on the whole thing. I was dying trying to keep a straight face while you panicked.
You really thought that was funny? I had no idea you felt that way.
Oh, come on. It's hilarious. And trust me, you don't want that kind of stuff getting out, right? So just show up to the wedding. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. You better be there.
All right, I'll come. Even if I have to bring the wheelchair and my medical equipment, I'll be there. Is that okay with you?
Finally! Took you long enough to come to your senses. I don't care what condition you're in. Just be there.
Yeah, okay. I'll be there.
And don't be late. I mean it. You're already on thin ice as it is.
I'll do my best.
Dana, are you seriously going to go to Juliet's wedding like this? How could you? You know it's not safe for you to push yourself this hard. I can't believe it. Juliet told me she's dead set on making sure you attend, but are you really going to go through with this?
Yeah, I guess Juliet told you about it. She really pushed me hard earlier. I tried to explain to her that I can't make it in my condition, but she was so insistent. She said there's no way she could ask anyone else to handle the reception this late and that it would be humiliating if I didn't show up. She made it seem like me not coming would be some kind of disaster for her.
What? Are you serious? That's just unbelievable. Juliet is really being that selfish?
Yeah, I was honestly a little shocked myself. I told her that I'd be in a wheelchair and everything, but she said she didn't care, that I had to show up no matter what. She even said I could crawl in if I had to.
But Dana, in your condition, it's just not realistic. If you go like this, you're only going to stand out in a bad way. Don't you think it's better for everyone if you don't push yourself?
I know. I tried to explain that too. I even told her that I'm not in any shape to wear the dress I bought and that it would probably just cause problems if I showed up. But she didn't care. To her, what matters most is that I'm there. She even said if I don't show up, we're done as friends.
That's just insane. How can she be so unreasonable? And, I've been thinking this for a while, but ever since Juliet's wedding plans got finalized, she's really changed, hasn't she?
Yeah, I've noticed it too. Before, we were always in sync and hanging out with her was fun. But after she got engaged, it feels like she's been looking down on us, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like she's been treating us like pawns in her wedding plans. And now forcing you to come to her wedding despite your situation, it's like she only cares about how things look, not how we actually feel. Does she even think of us as friends anymore, or are we just props to make her big day look perfect?
Yeah, I've been feeling the same way. It's like she's desperate to maintain this perfect image. And I think it's partly because her fiancé is such a high-profile guy, like this perfect elite type. It's almost as if she's trying to make herself seem more important by association, you know?
Exactly. I've been thinking the same thing. It's like she started to look down on me for not having a boyfriend. And don't even get me started on that time when she made that snide comment about my boyfriend not working for a big company. Do you remember? She was like, "Are you sure you're okay with that? As a woman, it's better to snag a man who can provide, right?" I was furious. Who does she think she is telling me that? I don't pick men based on how much money they make.
Yeah, it's like she's become someone else. She was never like this before. And get this. Earlier today, she tried to blackmail me. She threatened to spread my embarrassing stories if I didn't show up to the wedding. She actually brought up stuff from years ago to use against me. I mean, I honestly don't care about those things anymore, but the fact that she'd go that far, I was shocked.
Are you serious? She's blackmailing you now? That's just... wow. She really thinks she's something special now that she's marrying into a good family, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But honestly, even if I do end up going to the wedding, I don't think things will go the way she expects.
You know what? I'll talk to her too. This whole thing is ridiculous. Forcing you to come in a wheelchair is just wrong on so many levels. I'm actually meeting her before the wedding to go over some things, so I'll take the opportunity to say something. I'll tell her to cut you some slack and to stop being so unreasonable. You need to take care of yourself.
Really? That would be a huge help. I don't know how else to make her understand. Thanks so much.
Of course, you don't have to deal with this alone. I'll talk to her and set her straight. This is too much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel like I've been in over my head with all of this.
You? What the hell did you do? How could you show up at my wedding looking like that? What were you thinking?
What do you mean, what was I thinking? I told you, I'm in a wheelchair now. You knew that already. I even mentioned that I'd have to bring along the necessary medical equipment, right? So none of this should be surprising to you.
But still, this is just too much. You looked like an absolute mess. What was with all that? You came in here with an IV drip hanging off of you. And your head, wrapped in bandages like that. You couldn't even move on your own, and Amy had to push your wheelchair the entire time. And during the reception, you were just sitting there doing nothing. You couldn't even help with anything, could you?
Yes, exactly. I already explained this, didn't I? I told you that coming here would likely be a burden and cause more problems than it would solve. But you still insisted that I come to your wedding. You told me to be there no matter what, even if I had to crawl, remember?
Well, yeah, I did say that, but I didn't expect you to come looking like you just walked out of a hospital. Do you have any idea what people were saying? Everyone's whispering about it behind my back. People are asking me why I even invited someone who's clearly in no condition to attend a wedding. It's embarrassing.
Actually, I already dealt with that. I put up screenshots of our messages for everyone to see. Now, everyone here knows the truth. A lot of the guests are actually really sympathetic toward me. Many of them have come up to me and told me that I should be at home resting instead of coming to this wedding. So it's not the disaster you're making it out to be. Amy helped me with that too. She made sure there was something prepared in case this situation happened. You know, to explain why I showed up like this, in a wheelchair and hooked up to medical equipment.
Wait, what do you mean? You told them about our conversation?
Yeah, I think people understand the situation now. I made it clear that you were fully aware of my condition beforehand. I let them know that I tried to tell you I wouldn't be able to attend, but you wouldn't listen. You insisted that I come to your wedding, even if I had to drag myself here. So yeah, I think that pretty much cleared things up for everyone.
What the hell were you thinking showing everyone those messages?
Look, I'm really not feeling well. I think I pushed myself too hard by coming here.
What are you talking about? What is wrong with you now?
I'm sorry, but I think I need to leave. I tried my best to stay, but it's too much for me. I'm going to rest for a bit and see if I feel any better. If I can't make it back, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
Hey, are you okay, Juliet?
I wanted to talk to you when I could, but I still feel weak after what happened today. I'm really sorry for everything earlier.
Yeah, well, after you got taken away by the ambulance, my fiancé called it off. The wedding's been canceled because of everything that happened. I'm sorry for rushing you too hard.
I see. I'm really sorry the wedding got canceled. I didn't want to cause any trouble, but I guess I did, huh?
Listen, I need you to talk to my husband and his family. Can you come out for a bit? Right now, my husband and his family are absolutely furious. They're saying that I forced my seriously injured friend to come to the wedding just for my selfish reasons. And then you ended up in an ambulance. They're calling me reckless and inconsiderate, but we're best friends, right? You wanted to come, didn't you? I need you to explain to them that you came because you wanted to, even if it meant pushing yourself.
What? Are you serious? I didn't want to go at all.
What?
I told you from the start I couldn't make it, remember? I clearly said I wasn't able to attend, but you forced me to come. You even threatened me into it, remember? Amy helped me make a poster with the screenshots of our chat, and we posted it for everyone to see. Everyone already read it. They know exactly what happened. And they saw how I ended up in an ambulance because you pushed me to come. There's no taking that back now.
No, please don't say that. That whole thing was just a joke between us. It wasn't serious. Just tell them you came because you wanted to. That's all you have to do. Just say that and everything will be fine.
So you want me to lie for you? You want me to cover your selfish behavior? Why should I do that? Why should I help someone who forced me into a horrible situation and then asks me to come and clean up their mess? Are you seriously asking me to do this for you? You literally just asked if I could come out and talk to them after I was sent away in an ambulance. You're unbelievable.
But, this is the only way. I'm in so much trouble right now. My fiancé is furious and his family's talking about calling the whole marriage off. If that happens, it'll be your fault. You'll be the one to ruin my marriage.
You can say whatever you want. If you really think that's my fault, you've got bigger problems than just the wedding. You brought all this on yourself, not me. Maybe if you hadn't been so self-centered, things wouldn't have gone this way. But you didn't care about anyone else, and now you're paying the price.
But you don't understand. I was about to marry someone from a top company. A real elite, someone who could make over $100,000 a year. He's a walking success story, and now you're telling me I have to go back to square one? You're telling me my perfect life is ruined? Do you know what this means for me?
That's your problem. If you can only think about your own life and your own gain, then you've got no one else to blame. Honestly, I thought of you as my best friend for a long time. But it turns out you just saw me as a pawn, someone you could manipulate to serve your own needs. I don't owe you anything.
You don't understand. His family is so strict, and I wanted everything to be perfect. I had to make sure nothing went wrong. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I wanted to be flawless for him.
Yeah, I get it. You were desperate to be perfect for him. But guess what? People are talking. I heard from Amy how you told her that my situation was just an inconvenience. And that I was going to ruin your big day. Honestly, I already expected something like this from you. But after all that, do you really think I'm going to go out of my way to help you?
Please, don't do this. If you don't help me, I really won't be able to get married. My family's fed up with me too. They're talking about cutting ties with me over this. Look, I'll apologize for forcing you to come. Just help me out here, please. I'll make it right.
No, I'm not going to help you. You've made this mess all on your own. This is what happens when you're so obsessed with your own happiness that you can't even think about how you're treating the people around you. You thought you could push me around and everything would still go your way, but guess what? It doesn't work like that. It's time you faced reality. You're on your own.
Dana, are you okay? Juliet actually came to the hospital to attack you? What happened?
Amy, thank you for reaching out. Yeah, I was just as shocked as you are. First, I was already reeling from the news that I might be seriously ill. And then being told I needed to be hospitalized immediately. That was hard enough to take. But for her to pretend she was coming to visit me only to attack me? I never saw it coming.
She took advantage of the fact that you're at your weakest? That is beyond disgusting. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Luckily, a nurse happened to be nearby, so things didn't escalate too much. But I really didn't think she'd go that far.
That is some next-level revenge. I can't believe she actually did that. I wish I could rush over to see you right now, but with visiting hours...
No, it's okay. Really, I'm all right now. I screamed when I saw her face, and the nurse rushed in right away, so it all got handled before anything could happen.
I'm relieved nothing serious happened.
The hospital staff immediately called the police, so she didn't get away with it. I imagine by now she's probably being questioned by the police. Her family's definitely been notified too. With everything that's happened, I'm sure her engagement is done for.
Yeah, she's been totally unhinged ever since the wedding fell through. Honestly, she doesn't have a great education or career to begin with, and now with a criminal record? Her life's practically over. It's like she dug her own grave. I'm just glad you're cutting ties with her.
I know, right? The moment I saw her, the way she looked, I couldn't help but scream. She looked like a completely different person, like a demon or something.
She even tried reaching out to me for help, saying she was begging on her knees to her fiancé, asking him to take her back, saying it was impossible for them to break up. But honestly, anyone with a shred of common sense would run far away from someone that selfish and manipulative. Marrying her would have been a disaster for him.
Yeah, I feel bad saying this, but I can't find it in me to feel sorry for her.
Of course not. After everything she's put you through, there's no reason to. You know what she said to me when I refused to help her? She said, "Fine, I'll make sure you feel the same pain. I'll ruin your relationship too. You'll regret this." Can you believe that?
Wow, even now, she's still going down the path of self-destruction. Honestly, I think she only saw her friends as tools to pass the time. The second someone wasn't useful to her, they were just disposable.
Exactly. Friends to her were never about genuine connection or loyalty. They were just convenient, but I have a feeling that one day she'll regret all of this. It might take time, but she'll come to realize the consequences of what she's done.
Yeah, eventually. No one can make it through life entirely on their own. I think when she looks back and realizes she lost everyone she used to rely on, the loneliness will hit her hard. Then maybe she'll understand the weight of her choices.
Right. People like her never realize the value of what they had until it's all gone. When she's alone with nothing but the consequences of her actions, that's when the regret will sink in. And honestly, that's what she deserves.
I never wanted things to turn out like this, but I guess people's true colors come out when they feel cornered.
Yeah, it's sad that it had to end this way, but it's better that you saw her for who she really is. At least you can move on without any guilt or doubt, knowing you did your best.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Amy. I really appreciate your support through all of this.
Of course, I'll always be here for you. Just focus on resting and getting better. Juliet's out of your life for good now, and you deserve peace.
Thanks. I'm really lucky to have you by my side.
Anytime, Dana. We've got each other's backs no matter what.
After returning to the outside world, Juliet sent a message to both Amy and me, apologizing for everything that had happened during the chaotic events that transpired. It was surprising to hear from her, given the gravity of the situation we had all endured. However, having discovered Juliet's true nature regarding the wedding incident, we couldn't bring ourselves to believe her words of apology. Her actions had been so hurtful and deceptive that it felt impossible to trust her again. It was as if her apologies were merely empty words, lacking any sincerity or remorse. We had seen her true colors during that time, and it had left a lasting impression on us. Consequently, we decided to block her phone number, ensuring that she would have no way to reach us. This decision felt necessary for our peace of mind, as we could no longer afford to entertain the possibility of her contacting us again. Blocking her was a way to protect ourselves from any further emotional turmoil. Since that day, neither Amy nor I have any knowledge of what has happened to Juliet. We've both moved on with our lives, trying to leave that painful chapter behind. I often wondered how she was doing, but the pain of her betrayal overshadowed any concern I might have had. The shock of being attacked in the hospital lingered for some time, and I realized I needed to make significant changes to my life to protect myself and find healing. In the aftermath of the traumatic event, I took the step to move to a new place. I wanted to ensure that Juliet would never be able to track me down again, that she wouldn't have the means to invade my life any further. The move was more than just a physical relocation. It represented a new beginning for me. A chance to redefine my life and surround myself with positivity and love. It was essential for my mental health and well-being. I now live with my boyfriend, someone with whom I have begun a relationship with the intent of marriage. His name is Davis, and our connection has blossomed into something truly special. Interestingly, Davis is someone I had feelings for in the past, long before everything with Juliet transpired. He had always been kind and supportive, but at the time, I was unaware of how deep my feelings for him really ran. It wasn't until this recent incident that we reconnected on a more personal level. Davis reached out to me after hearing about what happened. He was genuinely concerned for my well-being, and his compassion was evident in every conversation we had. I found solace in his presence. He offered a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, which was exactly what I needed during such a turbulent period. Our interactions gradually turned into something more profound as we both realized the potential for a loving relationship. As I spent more time with Davis, I began to see the beauty of having someone who truly cared about me. His unwavering support allowed me to open up about my fears and insecurities. And I felt a sense of comfort I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was refreshing to be around someone who genuinely wanted the best for me, someone who respected my boundaries and encouraged my healing process. I feel incredibly fortunate to have Davis by my side. He understands the challenges I've faced and supports me wholeheartedly. It's comforting to know that I have someone who cares about me deeply and is willing to stand by me as I navigate the aftermath of my experience with Juliet. We are building a life together, one filled with trust, respect, and affection, and it's refreshing to feel that sense of safety again. My health has been steadily improving since the incident. Both the physical and emotional wounds are healing, and I am grateful for the medical treatment I received. The doctors and nurses at the hospital played a crucial role in my recovery, and I have followed through with all the necessary therapies and checkups. Their expertise and kindness made a significant difference in my healing journey. Looking back at everything that transpired, I find myself with mixed feelings about Juliet. Despite the pain she caused, there's a small part of me that feels a hint of gratitude. After all, it was through the turmoil and the chaos that I ended up reconnecting with Davis. It's a strange irony that something so painful led to something beautiful. This experience has taught me a lot about resilience and the importance of surrounding myself with people who genuinely care for my well-being. Now, as I go about my daily life, I find a sense of peace that I hadn't felt in a long time. The days have become more manageable, filled with moments of joy and laughter with Davis. We enjoy exploring new places together, sharing meals, and simply being in each other's company. He brings a lightness to my life that helps to overshadow the dark moments from my past. Davis and I have developed our routines, creating a sense of normalcy amidst the changes. We often cook together, experimenting with new recipes and flavors. It has become a fun bonding activity, allowing us to share our favorite dishes and discover new ones. We also make it a point to spend weekends outdoors, hiking or taking long walks in the park, where we can connect with nature and enjoy each other's company. These moments of simple joy have helped me heal and regain a sense of self. We've also started discussing our future together. The conversations are filled with excitement and hope as we share our dreams and aspirations. It feels incredibly reassuring to know that we're on the same page when it comes to our relationship and what we want out of life. We talk about our goals, where we see ourselves in the coming years, and how we can support each other in achieving them. There's a comfort in having a partner who is not only supportive, but also shares similar values and goals. As I reflect on my journey, I realize how important it is to take care of my mental health. I've been actively working on self-care practices, engaging in activities that bring me joy and fulfillment, whether it's reading a good book, going for long walks, or indulging in creative pursuits like painting or journaling. I make it a priority to nurture my spirit. It's been a healing process, allowing me to reconnect with myself and what truly makes me happy. Wendy, do you have time tonight?
Huh? Oh, yes, I'm free tonight, as long as it's not too late. I don't have any other plans or commitments, so I should be able to meet up with you. Though I do need to make sure it won't interfere with any other appointments I might have later.
Oh, perfect then. That works out just right. You see, I attended your cooking class for the first time today. It was an interesting experience, and I wanted to talk to you about it.
Oh, thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate it. I know that I'm still just starting out with teaching, so there might have been some moments where I wasn't as polished as I'd like to be, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. How did you feel about the class? Was there anything you enjoyed, or perhaps anything I can improve on?
Well, actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to let you know that I felt you should really experience what truly exceptional cooking is like. You might not have been exposed to this type of cuisine yet, and I thought it was important for you to broaden your horizons.
Oh, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you explain a little further?
Let me get straight to the point. From what I saw in your cooking class today, I have to be honest with you. I think it's quite presumptuous of you to be running a class with cooking skills at that level. I'm not trying to be rude, but the dishes you prepared didn't seem to reflect the level of mastery I think you're aiming for.
Wait, what?
I understand this might sound harsh, but please understand, this is just my personal opinion. I don't think you're a bad cook or anything like that. I just believe that for someone to be teaching others, they need to have reached a level of expertise that's undeniable. And to be honest, I don't think you're there yet. But I also know you might not be willing to accept that, so I thought it might be better if you come to this realization on your own. Sometimes the best way to learn is through experience rather than words.
Are we going to a restaurant, or is there another place you have in mind for tonight?
Well, not exactly a traditional restaurant. What I want is for you to experience true high-level cuisine. And I've already chosen the place where we'll go. It's a bar located in a quieter area of the downtown district.
A bar? Is that really the kind of place that serves exceptional food?
Oh, I see what you're thinking. Just because it's a bar, you might be dismissing it right away. But let me tell you, this place is not just any bar. It's a hidden gem. It's a place known only to those with a refined taste, and you won't find any information about it online. It's not the type of place that relies on word of mouth or social media to attract attention. It's for people who truly appreciate good food.
Wait, is it really okay for me to go there? It sounds a bit mysterious, doesn't it?
Of course, it's perfectly fine. I think it will be really beneficial for you. Growing up in a certain environment can shape your palate and cooking skills, which is why I think it's important for you to experience what true cooking can be. Rather than just telling you what I think, I want you to experience it yourself. That's the only way you'll truly understand the difference. I'll wait for you outside, so once you're finished with your class, we can meet up and head there together.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Are we really going to go to that place?
Knowing her, I'm almost certain she has some hidden agenda, and I'm not sure we should trust her intentions.
Well, she's a paying customer after all. As long as we keep her happy, she might continue to come back, and that's good for business.
You've grown up so much. You've always been like this, haven't you? With your charm and ability to captivate people, especially men. It's no wonder you've always had attention.
Let's not get into the past. It's irrelevant now. Because of my experiences, I've learned to deal with people who look down on me. It's nothing new.
Still, be cautious. What's this about a hidden bar with exceptional food? I've never heard of anything like it before.
I haven't heard of it either, but I have a few ideas about where it might be.
I also have some guesses, but honestly, are there really any places nowadays that don't have an online presence?
That's exactly what's bothering me too, but I'm going to check it out anyway.
And by the way, are you sure you want to go back to that part of town? I thought you had decided to cut ties with the nightlife scene.
Well, I don't mind strolling around the area. If I run into old acquaintances, it might be awkward, but I'll handle it, don't worry.
I see. All right, just be careful. If anything goes wrong, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be there to help.
I won't need to call you for help, but thanks. It's comforting to know you've got my back.
Of course, we've known each other for a long time. You can always rely on me.
Excuse me, Tammy, are you okay? It's been quite a while since you mentioned you were going to the bathroom. I was starting to wonder if something had happened to you.
Oh, I see. You were concerned, weren't you? I actually left a little earlier than expected. I didn't want to waste any more of my time there. I had to get going for other things.
Wait, what? You left? Why would you just leave like that?
Well, I didn't feel like studying anymore. I didn't think it was necessary, and I had other things I needed to take care of. So I left before anything else happened.
I see. That's a bit unexpected.
But more importantly, how was the food? You mentioned before that you were confident in your cooking skills, and I wanted to know what you thought about the food here.
Yes, it was quite good. The food was well prepared, and I really appreciated the recommendation for this place. The restaurant itself was very nice.
Oh, really? It was good, huh? Well, it seems like your taste in food is, let's just say, not exactly refined.
Excuse me? What do you mean by that? You told me that this was a place serving exceptional dishes. Are you trying to say something about my taste?
No, I'm just testing your taste. And let's be honest, you failed. I can't believe someone who runs a cooking school would praise frozen food like that. It's honestly laughable. I think it's time to let the other students in your class know what kind of low-level instructor they're dealing with.
Frozen food? Wait a minute, what exactly are you trying to say here?
Yes, everything you ate tonight was frozen. And not just any frozen food, it was the cheapest kind you could find at the supermarket. It's practically laughable.
I don't understand. Why would you do this?
I joined your cooking class today, and honestly, I was shocked. The level of your cooking was so low, it was unbelievable. I thought to myself, how could anyone learn from someone like this? So I decided to prove just how low your standards really are. And I did that by serving you frozen food disguised as gourmet dishes.
This is ridiculous. I never said I'm perfect, but I also never claimed frozen food was the best. It can be good if prepared properly. You don't have to mock it.
Oh, I get it. You're making excuses now. It's cute, but let's move on to the next topic. How about the bill? It's time for you to pay, don't you think?
What? Why should I be the one to pay?
Why? Because I gave you a valuable experience today. That's why. Don't tell me you expected me to treat you. How typical. You come from such a poor mindset. It's honestly kind of pathetic.
No, that's not what I was expecting. Okay, fine, I'll pay. But you're sure this is it, right? This is the end?
Yes, exactly. Now let's settle up. The total is $30,000.
Wait, what? $30,000? Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. $30,000. What, are you not familiar with the cost of something like this? I guess you've never been to a place like this before, huh?
This doesn't make any sense. I thought you said that this was a reasonable place. Now you're telling me it's $30,000? Is this some kind of scam?
Even if it were a scam, you're still responsible for paying. You were the one who followed me here after all. And now you've got to pay up, or else I'll have to get the people in the back to deal with you.
The people in the back? What kind of people are we talking about here?
Oh, I have plenty of connections, you know. My family is one of the richest in this town, so I know all sorts of people in various circles. People who can make sure you pay what you owe.
This is extortion. You're basically admitting to running a scam, and that's fraud. You are breaking the law.
I'm not doing anything illegal. If anything, it's your fault for getting caught up in this situation. You should have known better than to follow someone like me. I'm not going to apologize for anything.
This is insane. Why are you doing this? Why would you go to such lengths just to get back at me for something?
Oh, I'm not doing this for any personal reason. I just wanted to show the other people in your cooking class what kind of instructor you are. You don't deserve to be teaching anyone anything about cooking.
I can understand you disagree with me, but that doesn't give you the right to do this. There were better ways to handle this.
Better ways? I'm doing you a favor by showing you the truth. You're too deluded to see it, but at least now you know what kind of cooking you're offering. Maybe next time you'll think twice before teaching people such low-level skills.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe you're going this far just to prove a point. I'm just trying to help others and share what I know. This is not the way to handle things.
Well, if you're done complaining, how about you pay up? $30,000 isn't going to just disappear.
$30,000? What is this? Is this a joke?
No, it's not a joke. $30,000. You really have no idea what you're dealing with, do you?
This is extortion. I am not paying this.
Oh, you're not? Well, you might want to reconsider. You see, I know some people who can make sure you pay one way or another. You don't want to find out what happens if you don't.
You're really going to threaten me like this?
It's not a threat, it's reality. You see that bartender over there? He's part of a gang, and if you try to run, things are going to get very ugly for you.
You really think I'm going to be intimidated by you?
I'm not trying to intimidate you. I'm just telling you what's going to happen if you don't pay. It's your choice.
Okay, fine. What do you want me to do?
Just give me the $30,000. I don't want to waste any more time here. I have other things to do.
I can't believe this is happening.
Believe it. Now hurry up and pay. Remember, this could have been avoided if you had just known your place.
You are truly heartless, aren't you?
Oh, I'm just being realistic. You should have learned to be more careful.
I can't believe this. I don't even know what to say anymore.
That's the point. Now hand over the money.
I still can't believe this.
Well, you better get used to it, because this is the reality you're facing now.
Angie, I am really sorry to cause you trouble. The situation is exactly as I told you over the phone earlier. I managed to talk to the bartender, and I found out that the person running this bar is actually a local thug.
I see. And what can you tell me about this thug?
You're not going to believe this, but it's Bruce.
Bruce? That guy's back here? Seriously, does he have any sense of courage, or is he just plain stupid?
Well, if the mastermind behind this bar is really him, then this should be an easy job.
Right, so can you get Bruce here? Honestly, I was thinking of bringing a few people along for backup, but if it's Bruce, I can handle him by myself. It should be enough.
Got it. I'll find a way to drag Bruce out here. Angie, what's the situation on your end? How's it going?
I've got Bruce. He's locked in the trunk of the car right now. When he saw my face, his face went pale. He looked completely terrified. As soon as he saw me, he tried to run away. But if he really wanted to escape, he shouldn't have come back in the first place. Well, it's not like he's the kind of person who could survive out there on his own. Honestly, if he was going to come back, he should have at least done something worthwhile with his life. Instead, he's running a scam bar like this. It's such a cheap and petty operation.
This is the same guy who borrowed money from people to open a club, only for him to shut it down in a month and run away, right? He's always been this small-time, cheap kind of guy. People like that don't change easily.
Honestly, if he had just started paying back the money bit by bit, we would have never had to get involved in this mess. But because he ran away, it just complicated everything.
It's actually a bit surprising that after 5 years he managed to return to town.
Well, I heard it straight from him. He said he came back to pay the money he owed, but in reality, I think he just thought he could grab a chunk of cash from this scam bar. And if he got caught, he would have said he was just coming back to repay his debt. If no one found out, he would have just pocketed the money.
I see. Well, that makes sense. So what's the plan now?
Well, for now, we're going to leave the bar alone. I had Bruce tell the bartender to make sure that Tammy gets a proper send-off. I made sure of it.
Thank you so much. I really owe you one. I said I wouldn't need help, but I guess I was wrong.
It's no trouble at all. For me, it's kind of like cleaning up the trash in this town. Now, go take care of things with Tammy. You've got everything under control now, so you don't need to worry.
Understood. I'm on my way. Thanks again.
Well, I wonder if the bill has been settled yet. The fact that they haven't contacted you means you're probably still throwing a tantrum, huh?
Oh, I've already left the restaurant. The waiter told me it was fine and I didn't need to pay.
Huh? What do you mean, what happened?
Exactly what I said. I'm relieved, actually, because I can't afford to pay $30,000.
Is this another one of your usual lies? There's no way they'd let someone like you slip through their fingers. You're probably shaking like a little puppy, aren't you?
No, actually, I'm already on the train heading home. If you want, why don't you give the waiter a call?
Huh? What's going on here?
Or perhaps you could try calling Bruce.
Eh?
Oh, right. Bruce can't take any calls at the moment, can he?
Wait a minute. How do you know about him? Did he visit from time to time?
Well, I've had some dealings with him in the past. He left town 5 years ago, but I was shocked to see him back.
What are you saying? He's been in this town?
He's not just here, he's from this town. But more importantly, how do you know him?
Know him? He's just an acquaintance.
An acquaintance, you say? I've heard he's been bringing victims to his scam bar. Do you really think someone would assist in criminal activities just because they're an acquaintance?
So, what's Bruce doing now? I've been calling him, but he won't pick up. What does it mean that he can't take a call right now?
Instead, why don't you tell me about your relationship with him? Though it seems like the answer's already been spilled by someone else.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Right now, Angie is with him. Apparently they're reminiscing, and Bruce has been quite talkative about the current situation. For example, he mentioned having an affair with a woman.
Who? What?
I don't care if he's having an affair, but to choose Bruce, it shows you have poor judgment. He's a worthless man who can't even pay back his debts.
Explain yourself properly. What's going on?
Bruce borrowed money from a certain gang in this town. With that money, he started a club, but he went bankrupt in just a month due to his incompetence. He ran away with a huge debt.
So, he stole from the gang? Yes, exactly.
5 years later, he came back to town thinking this time he could succeed with his scam bar business. He thought he could pay back the gang if they found him.
He used to run a securities company in London, right? And now he's come back to run a gang?
Typical of Bruce to lie like that. London, a securities company, he probably picked it up from a movie. And no, he's not a gang member, he's just a small-time thug.
You said Angie is with him. What's her role in all of this?
Bruce owes money to the gang Angie was once part of.
Eh?
That's why when Bruce saw Angie's face at the bar earlier, he ran away without a second thought. He came back to town, but is still such a coward.
Wait, Angie's gang? What do you mean?
Angie retired a while ago, but she was an executive in one of the local gangs.
An executive? But she's a woman.
Angie was a legend in this town. She's a woman who beat down anyone who underestimated her.
Is that so? Then what about you? What's your connection to him?
I used to be a hostess in this town. Bruce was one of my regular customers back then. He was a troublesome man who would always run away without paying. He once invited me to join him when he started his club, but I didn't trust him, so I turned him down politely.
Wait, so what's happening now?
Angie's already secured Bruce. He's going to face some serious consequences.
Serious consequences? Then what about me?
First, you need to settle your affair with Bruce. It's best to be honest with your husband.
What?
Then you'll need to clear up your involvement in the fraudulent activities. You were involved in a business run by an antisocial group, so your excuses won't stand.
No, that's not it. I didn't think it was a scam. Yes, he said he was part of a gang, but that doesn't mean a gang is problematic if they're not involved in crime.
I see. So you think $30,000 was the correct price for the service?
Yes, that's right. I don't think it was a scam.
That's strange. You said it was the cheapest frozen food from the supermarket. So are you claiming that $30,000 was the appropriate price for that service?
No, that's...
You were testing me, weren't you? You pretended it was high-end cuisine, but it was just cheap food. You knew that it wasn't high-end. If that's the case, your argument doesn't make sense.
Ugh!
Also, you've got quite a reputation in this town. I've heard you racked up quite a bill at the host clubs.
How do you know that?
If you live here, you'll hear things. You may think you're rich, but you're probably struggling to pay your own bills. That's why you got involved with someone like Bruce. He pretends to be something big, but he's just a small-time scam artist.
What? You're no better. You're running a crappy cooking class while hanging around with gangsters.
Feel free to say what you like, but Angie is my close friend. I won't let anyone talk badly about her. I'll tell your husband about your affair with Bruce.
Wait, why would you do that?
Because you're the one who started this fight. You tried to charge me $30,000. This isn't some little argument, is it? Your parents have already cut ties with you, so I don't need to contact them. Now, all that's left is to gather evidence of your involvement in fraud and take it to the police.
Wait! I get it now. I was wrong. I was so frustrated. I used to run a cooking class too.
I know, but it went under, didn't it? That's why you were frustrated, so you tried sabotaging me. How pathetic.
I'm sorry. I really am. Please forgive me. At least don't tell my husband.
Sorry doesn't cut it.
What is this? I'm the victim here too. If I'd known what kind of person Bruce was, I would have never gotten involved.
Even if that's true, you're still at fault. After all, you followed him like a fool when you knew it was wrong.
Fine, I'll admit it. I've been living in denial for far too long. But what do you expect me to do now? You've already dragged me through the mud, exposed all my secrets. What am I supposed to do with myself now?
That's the thing, isn't it? You didn't want to face the truth until it was shoved in your face. Your life, your decisions, it's all been one big act of pretending things were fine when they clearly weren't. And now you have to deal with the consequences of that.
What do you know about my life? You don't know anything. You think you can just show up and pass judgment? Just like that, you are the one with the moral high ground?
No, I don't have the high ground, but at least I have the integrity to admit when I'm wrong. Unlike you, who keeps lying to herself and everyone around her. I'm not perfect, but at least I don't pretend to be. You've been lying to your husband, living a double life, running with people like Bruce, pretending you're too innocent to understand what's happening.
You think you're any better? You've done things too, haven't you? You've been involved in more shady dealings than I care to admit. And now you stand there lecturing me?
You're right, I'm not perfect. I've made my share of mistakes, but I've always owned up to them, and that's what makes the difference. It's never too late to change, but you have to face reality first. You've been living a lie, and I am just showing you the mirror so you can see the truth.
I didn't want it to end up like this. I thought Bruce would be different. He told me so many lies, but I believed him. I trusted him, and now I have nothing to show for it. Nothing except for the wreckage I've caused.
Well, you're not the only one who's been lied to. Bruce has been lying to everyone, and the only reason he's been able to keep his head above water is because people like you let him. But now it's your turn to stop enabling him. You need to make things right, starting with your husband.
I can't tell him everything. Not everything. He'll never forgive me.
Well, don't worry about that, because like I said, your husband already knows about everything. I reported the incident to the police. It didn't take long for the authorities to get involved. Both Bruce and Tammy were arrested, and they were immediately held accountable for their actions. The court decided that they were responsible for the damages caused to the victims, and as a result, they were ordered to pay hefty compensation fees. It was a decision that would haunt them for a long time, and as expected, the financial burden was overwhelming. It was hard to believe how things escalated so quickly. Bruce, once a man of confidence, now found himself in a position where he had to pay back a massive debt. Tammy, the woman who had always prided herself on being able to manipulate others to get her way, now had to face the reality of the situation. Both of them were thrust into a world they had never imagined, a world where their actions had serious consequences. The debts they now carried weighed heavily on their shoulders. Bruce, unable to pay off the damages through traditional means, was forced to take on grueling physical labor. He had been introduced to this type of work by Angie, a close friend of mine, and it was a job that demanded not only his time and energy, but also his dignity. The work was relentless and the conditions were harsh. He had to endure long hours, often in excruciating physical pain, just to make a dent in his enormous financial responsibilities. As if that weren't enough, Tammy's situation was no better. In addition to the debts she'd accumulated, she was also required to make payments to the local businesses, and most notably to her husband. The divorce had been ugly, and the court had ordered her to pay alimony. It wasn't easy for her to come to terms with the fact that she now had to pay for her mistakes, both in terms of money and her personal relationships. The alimony payments were a constant reminder of the damage she had caused, and Tammy found herself struggling to keep up with the demands of her financial obligations. It was ironic, really. Bruce and Tammy, who had once been so certain that they were invincible, were now in the same boat. They were both working under harsh conditions, trying to pay off their debts, and it was clear that they weren't happy about it. The strange thing was that despite their dire circumstances, they were still together, working side by side at the same physical labor site. They had been forced into this situation, and there was no way out. Initially, I thought that maybe, just maybe, there was a silver lining to their predicament. I thought that being together might bring them some comfort, that the shared experience of hardship might allow them to reconnect and find a sense of solidarity in their suffering. After all, they had once been a couple, and in times of hardship, people often turned to those closest to them for support. However, as time went on, it became clear that my hopes were misplaced. Bruce and Tammy were blaming each other for everything that had happened. They were no longer the loving couple they once were, but rather bitter individuals who resented each other for the situation they found themselves in. Their relationship had deteriorated beyond repair. They were now locked in a cycle of mutual disdain, and I could see that they were no longer able to tolerate each other's presence. It was as if they had become strangers, each one blaming the other for their downfall. I couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness for them. It was painful to watch. I had once hoped that they would learn from their mistakes and that they would grow stronger and become better people because of the hardships they had faced. But it seemed that instead of finding redemption, they had become even more embittered, more bitter toward each other and the world. Their relationship was now in tatters, and it seemed that they had no intention of trying to fix it. I had hoped that they would eventually reconcile, that they would find a way to move forward and rebuild what they had lost. but it was clear that they were trapped in their own bitterness, and I began to wonder if they would ever be able to escape it. In the meantime, I had moved on with my life. I was still attending cooking classes, and I found that they brought me a sense of fulfillment and joy that I hadn't experienced in a long time. The atmosphere in the town had become much calmer after Tammy's disappearance, and the peace that had settled over the area gave me a sense of relief. I could now go about my day-to-day life without the constant fear of running into trouble or dealing with the chaos that Tammy had caused. I had also managed to maintain my friendships with Angie. Despite everything that had happened, our bond remained strong. Angie was someone I could always count on, someone who had been there for me during some of the most difficult moments of my life. She was the type of friend who would drop everything to help you, and I truly appreciated her loyalty and kindness. However, I also noticed that Angie had developed a certain level of concern about me. She had always been a pragmatic person, someone who lived a relatively quiet life, free from the drama and chaos that seemed to follow me around. Because of this, I could sense that she was always a little worried when things went wrong. Whenever something out of the ordinary happened, she would ask me if I had gotten into any trouble. It was almost like she couldn't believe that I had been able to avoid trouble for so long. At first, I didn't think much of it, but over time I began to realize that Angie was genuinely concerned about me. She was protective in a way that I hadn't fully understood before. I think part of it came from the fact that her life had been so stable and uneventful. She had never been in a situation like mine, and I think that made her worry even more. In a way, it was a bit amusing. Here I was, someone who had been through all sorts of challenges and difficulties, and yet Angie seemed to worry more about me than I did about myself. I would often laugh and assure her that everything was fine, but deep down, I knew that she was only asking because she cared. I sometimes wondered if Angie wished she could experience some of the excitement I had gone through. Not that she would ever admit it, of course. She was far too sensible to admit she was curious about my past, but I could see it in her eyes. That flicker of curiosity when we talked about my experiences. She might have been too proud to admit it, but I knew that part of her longed for the kind of life I had lived. Still, despite her occasional concern, I could tell that Angie truly valued our friendship. She would do anything for me, and I knew that I would do the same for her. Our bond was strong, and it was something I could always count on, no matter what. Looking back on everything that had happened with Bruce and Tammy, I realized that life often doesn't go the way we expect. We make decisions, and sometimes those decisions lead to unexpected consequences. Bruce and Tammy had made their choices, and now they were paying the price for it. But even though I felt pity for them, I couldn't ignore the fact that they were responsible for their actions. No one forced them to make the choices they did. As for me, I had learned from my own mistakes. I had faced the consequences of my actions, and I had grown because of it. Life had given me some tough lessons. But I had come out the other side stronger and wiser, and while things weren't perfect, I had learned to accept the flaws and imperfections of life. Now, as I continued to enjoy my cooking classes and the peace of the town, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the people in my life. For Angie, for the lessons I had learned, and for the chance to move forward. No matter what the future held, I knew I was ready to face it. Looking at the situation from a more reflective standpoint, I can't help but wonder if things could have turned out differently for Bruce and Tammy. In a way, they had both been trapped by their own choices. It was clear to me now that neither of them had understood the weight of their actions until it was too late. They had allowed themselves to be swept up in the moment, driven by desires that blinded them to the long-term consequences. In a world where impulsive decisions often lead to irreversible outcomes, they were now facing the full force of their mistakes. Much as I might sympathize with their plight, there was a part of me that couldn't quite excuse them. I had made my own mistakes in the past, but I had learned from them, even if it had taken time. The road to redemption wasn't easy, but it was always there, waiting for those willing to take responsibility for their actions. Bruce and Tammy, it seemed, had been too stubborn to admit their faults, and instead they clung to the idea that they were the victims of circumstances, when in reality they were the victims of their own decisions. It was frustrating to watch. I had seen people in my life go through similar struggles, but they had managed to rise above them, learning and growing in the process. It was hard not to feel disappointed when I saw how Bruce and Tammy handled their situation. They had been given the opportunity to change, to make amends for their wrongdoings, but instead they had only allowed their bitterness and resentment to fester. Their inability to take responsibility for their actions and own up to their mistakes seemed to be what was holding them back to move forward. On the other hand, my life had become more peaceful, albeit not without its own set of challenges. Despite the quiet of the town and the relatively calm pace of my daily life, I still had moments of doubt. I wondered whether I was truly on the right path or whether I was simply hiding from the bigger issues in life. It wasn't that I regretted my choices, but rather that I sometimes felt as though there was more for me to experience. I wasn't content to just go through the motions of life, attending cooking classes and spending time with friends. I had always been someone who craved meaning, and there were still days when I felt like I hadn't really found it. That being said, I couldn't deny the importance of what I had achieved in the past year. There had been a sense of healing in my life since I had distanced myself from the chaos that Tammy had brought into the town. It wasn't as though I was completely free of worries, but the absence of the constant tension that had once loomed over me was undeniably a relief. I found myself waking up each day with a sense of clarity that I hadn't experienced in a long time.